So today's session, it's Thursday. Woohoo! It's Thursday. Thursday is my Friday. That's why I'm kind of excited about it. And so today's class is dedicated to walking on sacred earth. Walking on sacred earth. You like how I'm sitting? It kind of brings me here. Have my knees on. I got it all figured out. They could see my feet in the back. So I just yeah, I was thinking about that, and that as you know, how when we walk and we, you hear these words like tread lightly and all that on the earth, but it was walking on sacred earth. I like that a lot. I have a quote from Black Elk. Black Elk there's a pretty well-known book. We had to we read it like back in, I don't know, high school. We had to read it. Black Elk Speaks. He lived I think he was born 1863. He was born in what is now known as present-day Wyoming. And there was a poet, John Neihart, who came up. I don't know. They became friends, and then John said to Black Elk, I want to write your story down. And so Black Elk Speaks is all about, it's all about Black Elk's life, his visions, his view of the world, his life, childhood. So it's really actually quite beautiful if you ever have a chance to read it. Here's a quote from the book. And it says, he said, as you walk upon the sacred earth, treat each step as a prayer. And I like that. And I also think it applies to yoga. Each breath sacred, each moment sacred, that sort of thing. And then as we begin, I'm going to sit, I'll go back into my mat. We're just going to start, we're going to do like an Om together to start with. And then I just wanted to take a moment of silence. Like I've got that Kabul is on my mind. There were two big explosions today. And I'm just going to turn the, and it happened, I don't know, not long ago, maybe an hour ago or so. There are many casualties. There was a suicide bomber. And it happened right at the airport where thousands of people are trying to escape, and at a hotel. There were double bombings. So, and I came here. I actually took Uber, and my driver is Afghan, and he was driving and crying, and so I told him, I said, you know what, we're going to do a silent moment for everyone. Yeah, so that's how we're going to start, and then we'll have our session. Okay, so let's begin. What a world, huh? What a world we live in. So we're going to take hands right to heart center, taking a deep breath in for one. A moment of quiet, stilling the mind. And then we interlace fingers, press palms up, and take the arms up. So you're extending. Still, eyes can be closed as you reach. Yoga is the practice of awareness, inner awareness, awareness of what's going on around us, energy, humanity. Look up at your hands, eyes are open. And then arms coming out to the sides and hands touch down. And then we'll come over to one side and do the next side stretch. Deep breath in and reach more deeply through your fingers. Then your hand is going to reach forward. So it's like your hand's going to reach forward and touch down like at a corner forward. And then up and look up the ceiling. And do that again. Your hand reaches forward. And up. Now this side that just got stretched, you're going to twist to that side. Left hand to, or sorry, it doesn't matter. I'm not marionette. So hand to knee, twist. And then the other arm. So you could also reverse your leg crossing. The other arm comes up, extend, reach, and come on over. Neck is free. Active through the fingertips. And then reaching your arm towards the floor, towards that corner of your mat. And then come up and lengthen, look upward. We do that twice. We'll do that again, coming forward. And then we twist into this open side, twisting and looking back. Elongate the spine. And then releasing. Good work. So let's go ahead and we'll go wide with legs. Stretching the inner thighs. So here we go. Pushing out through the heels. And some can come onto the elbows. Some will be a little more upright. And breathe. Good. It's like we're able to just kind of really push out through the heels. This is it. Huh? This is the one. This is the one that could put you in a really bad mood. This one. It has that power. Everything was going so well until now. And then coming up. So really, the stronger your legs are, the more that's going to be intense for you. So let's go ahead and we're going to shake out the legs. And I want you to hear that boom, 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 that thunderous sound louder than mine. Yeah, good, good. I'm hearing others. And louder, louder, louder. Of course, you all need it on screen, so I'm hearing the ones in the class. Faster. And then release. Yeah. So from here, let's go ahead and grab a block. And you have a block at your knees. And you'll extend your arms up. And already from here, you have to work to get your spine upright. Let's just hold this for a moment. So shoulders like to hike up, draw your shoulders down. Squeeze into the block. So if we did a little check, we wouldn't be able to release the block from you. And then hands press, fingertips towards you, feet pressing into the mat, squeezing into the block and coming up into tabletop. And if this is really hard for you, you can always come to bridge instead. Tabletop here, breathing in. Exhale. And lower. And then once you lower, still the block is in place, and then we work the core. You knew that was coming. Squeeze in, and some round the back, some keep the back over straighten. Come to this place where you're hovering above the mat, or a place where you feel like, well, that's work, and then press up, extend. So I think, you know, you could have your feet a little closer in or out. I have them far enough that it's a chore to get my front foot down. I don't know. I feel like that's where it works, but see what works for you. Lift up. We're going to do this again. Reach up. Exhale. We'll add a little something in, extending your arms, palms up, and twist one direction. Left or right, doesn't matter. Twist one direction, holding, squeezing the block. And then coming over the other way, keep squeezing the block, twist, arms equal distance apart if possible. If this is too much for you, you could just take one hand down, but I think hands extended is really where the work comes in, and then back to center. Hands are behind you, block in place, and you have tabletop, or you can come into reverse plank. Tabletop is easier. Reverse plank, legs are straight, point for the toes, and lift. Deep breath in, exhale, and lower. And then once you come out, if it helps you to roll out the wrists, that's fine. If you have your legs straight and bending, and coming back. So when you come back, I'm not going to go nearly as far as I did before because there's a twist. I'm going to twist to one side. Coming back to center. Deep breath in and twist the other way. Good. Back. Reach. Good. Let's come right onto our back. So all that squeezing calls for bound angle. Soles of the feet are together. Your back rests. That feels so good to rest the back. Bound angle. Hands are on the belly to begin with. Inner thighs releasing. Breath in. Exhale. What you'll see in today's session is you'll see a pose that requires strength and a pose that adds to flexibility. Okay, so you've got poses where you really have to work in poses like this one where you're like, oh, you're having to just let go. Interlace fingers, press palms up. Here, I think there's work. Your arms come up overhead, little fingers touching the mat. The upper body is active. It's not hard work of holding, like isometric movement, but definitely you want your upper body to be active, lower body receptive to gravity's. So what I'm going to ask you to do, it's not putting your lumbar down. We're not going to press the lumbar down, but I'm going to ask you to press your lower ribs down, if that makes sense. So it's not a pelvic tilt, but it's just like I'm trying to draw my ribs down a little bit, pressing my lowest ribs closer to the mat. So to do that, you have to use the upper abdominals. And then release. And from here, feet flat onto the mat, and we have bridge. And we'll work bridge. So just in case you're not certain, you might want to watch for a moment. I'm not going to hold it long from here, but what you want to do is extend one leg. And I don't want you looking at me as you're doing this because I want you to look up the ceiling so your neck is in a good position. So first time around, let's have the palms flat to the mat. You're going to lift and adjust your feet so they're running parallel to each other. Bridge. You can tuck shoulders underneath you, but your hands are flat. And then let's extend one leg if you haven't already, and let your thighs run parallel to each other, not straight up in the air, but parallel to each other. Breathing in. Exhale. And lower. We're going to do the other side. Left leg extending, thighs running parallel to each other. If you have strong legs, you're super happy right now. If you're using your glute power, your leg power, even your upper body is helping to power this pose. Lower. Get your heels up, lower, and pull knees to chest. Now that you're done, I'll tell you, that's not my favorite pose. And that's, and you know what, it's my medicine. That's what I need to do. So, yeah. And then from here, you're going to come to happy baby. So you hold on to your feet, your elbows on the inside knees, hands holding the outside feet. And there you are, breathing in. Exhale. So we're coming back to that bridge. I can't believe that. And then I want to talk, I'm going to kind of suggest something. So this time, when you're up in bridge, your leg is going to come up in the air, and you may want to watch where you're actually in it. So you would either have your leg up in the air or here. So for me, leg in the air, that's easy. So I'm going to do it, but I'm going to just go back to my work. If this is easy for you, then your leg is up in the air. We'll do both, and then you're going to stay with the next one. Okay. So feet are pressing you up. So we're already there. Good. And then let's start out with the right leg. Bring it up in the air. Bring it so that your thighs are running parallel to each other. Which one will it be? You choose. Take 2 rounds of breath here. Foot comes down. Second side. If you need to rest it out before you do the second one, that's fine. Or your left leg is straight up in the air. You're in bridge. Leg is up high. And then you lower and see which one is it. Which one is it? And 2 rounds of breath. Lower, heels are up, lower, and take a moment, pull knees into chest, you're done. So on this next one, it's happy baby, or you can go out to a wide V, okay? You can use a strap too. Either it's happy baby or you go to a wide V. Sometimes with a wide V, people need a strap. The strap goes long across both feet. So just see what works best for you. Whew, nice. Take your head side, side, release your neck, go over to the right, and then go to the left. Release it. Release. Take your legs together, and then from here, we're going to take hold of the block. All right. So on this one, your left leg is straight on the floor. Right knee is bent 90 degrees. You have a block. We did this one on Tuesday. And left hand is going to hold the block against the right inside knee. And what you're doing now, your right arm is up overhead. So left leg is straight, right arm is straight. Both are like where the back of the right hand is touching the floor. What you're doing is, it's definitely isometric. You're pushing your hand and block into the right knee, and the right inside knee is pushing back into the block. All the while, maybe you're pressing your back down into the mat and breathe. And then from here, take the block away for a moment and you go to a stretch, which means your right foot is on left knee and you go to a twist. Like it's like night and day for me. When I do the strength ones, I'm focused, I'm having to, work, and then I come into the twist, the counter twist, which is a deep stretch, and my cells are spiraling, So I don't know if you feel the same. But when you come into the twist after working so hard, that they work really well together. You want to apply a lot of effort into the strengthening pose, and then you come into the stretch and you can feel your body letting go. Turn your head right and Let's come out and do the other side. So from here, you'll have your right leg is straight, left knee 90 degree, block is to the inside, left knee. Right hand is holding the block, and left arm is straight up overhead with the back of the hand down. Now, squeeze, press your block against the inside left knee pressing against the block, but the left knee isn't going to come beyond where it's at. You're going to, it's staying in its initial position. And then a little pelvic tilt here, pressing your back down, relaxing your neck, working the toes, very specific. Breathe in. Exhale. And then releasing the block, left foot on right knee, and then go ahead and come to the twist. Left arm is at a T position. Good, like that. In alignment with your shoulder. So you're turning. Your head is turned left, and your body makes a beautiful spiral. And when you inhale, you might find you lose a little of the stretch. When you exhale, you deepen the stretch. It's like a rhythm. All right, and then releasing. So we have another one coming up. All right. So let's go ahead and, okay, so here we go. The legs are both up in the air and your arms are both up in the air. So you're gonna bend your knees at a 90 degree, okay? So press your back down into the mat. Arms are up. And then what you'll do is you're trying to keep your back down. You're going to extend your right arm and your left leg. They're hovering above the floor. If you do this and you can't get your back down, take your leg higher up in the air. Then it's easier. If the closer your left leg is to the floor, the harder it is. Breathing in. Exhale. I know you think you've landed in a Pilates class and it's yoga. Come back to center. And we're going to extend. And you'll see this later. It's actually from hands and knees. It's known as tiger. Okay, so now I'm on the second side. Right arm up in the air. Right. And then coming back to center, pulling knees in. And this time, we're going to just grab hold of your right foot. You have an outer hip stretch. Grabbing hold of the foot, and you can have your head down or your head up, see what works best for you. Stretching the outside hip. Flexing your right ankle. And you can stay like this, or you can add that threading the needle where now I have right ankle against left thigh, right hand threads through the triangle the legs make. Some hold behind the knee, some hold the kneecap, and there you are, stretching. Yeah. Wow, those guys out there. Okay, and then we're going to release, and we'll do the second side, holding on to your left foot, left knee pointing over to your left, and then your right leg coming down, straightening the leg if you can. Good. And it's up to you. Keeping your head down or lifting. Yeah. And outer hip stretch. Elbows are bent, using your biceps to pull. One more breath here, inhale. And then as you exhale, you take your ankle across the right thigh and your left hand comes through the triangle that your legs make, holding your kneecap, flexing left ankle and stretching the outer hip. All right, and then releasing from here. So let's go ahead and come on up to sitting. And we'll start out child's pose, downward facing dog, and make our way up to sun salutation. So we'll make our way up to the floor. So here we are. Head down. Take a moment to really stretch out your back. This is the biggest class in studio class we've had, 6. Yeah. Woo. Half capacities we could take up. And then from here, we'll come to downward facing dog. Hands are spread wide, and I want you to take some time to pedal. And what I would say is, you know, I think that this pose requires strength, but there's still a lot of stretch. Most people come up against the stretch, like that's the challenge of the pose, is getting into your hamstrings, your shoulders, your spine. Yep. And then let's go ahead and come to upward facing dog. Your knees could be down, our knees are up. The big difference between this pose and cobra is that the thighs are your thighs are not touching that. Your knees could, but not your thighs. So press back and take your hands back by your heels for a moment. I know we have the sun salutations coming, but I thought, hey, this needs to be countered with strength. So we have dolphin. And dolphin has a lot of strength to it. So you have to be limber as well. So you're going to either clasp your hands, that's easier, or hands are flat, and you press back. That means your tailbone is up in the air and you're stretching. You're having to use your arms. Your head is above the mat, not touching the mat. Okay, shake out your head, make sure that your neck is relaxed. And it's up to you. You might say, whoo, I'm going to stay here, or your left leg comes up and your hips stay square. You could point or flex. I tend to flex the ankle of the leg in the air. Lower and try the other side. Right leg comes up. And I know for some this is all flexibility, others it's strength. I think it has a lot of tone in it. And then we're going to walk the feet back, come into plank. Take 2 rounds of breath here. Then lower your belly. That was like medicine, and then you followed by a spoonful of sugar here. You've got your Sphinx, and some can straighten, some keep the elbows down, and breathe. Turn your head, look past one shoulder. Stretching your neck. And then turn the other way, turning your head. Good. And back to center. You're going to lower, bring your forehead down. Deep breath in, exhale, relaxing your shoulders. And then here's how we come up. I come back, I curl toes under, I press my knees up. If you have a better way of coming up, that's fine. And I end up in the back end of my mat, in a forward bend. So taking hands to elbows and let yourself hang. Knees can be soft, knees can be straight. So I would say this Uttanasana forward bend is all about stretching, all about stretching. And I bet you could guess the one that's strengthening following it, it's chair. So the feet are together. Some like to have a block between knees. And I'm going to lower my knees a little bit and my hands can be on my thighs as I build the zigzag. It's called chair, but it has nothing to do with a chair. It's Utkatasana, the fierce pose. So your arms alongside the ears, you're dropping down and breathing. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And out. Sweep the arms up overhead, palms touch, look skyward, and then bring your hands to the heart. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Good. So you definitely, you really can see how you react to poses too. It's like night and day. The straight ones and then the stretch one. So we'll try this one. So stretch straight. Okay. So it works with a squat and it works for all these, the strength one. So yeah. Let's make a loop. You don't have to. If you don't have your strap those here at home. Anyway, so I'm into it. We're going to be about, your feet are going to be about as wide as your mat when you're facing the front of your mat. And you're going to push out against it. So mile long strap. Yeah, me too. I know. They're like 7 foot long. I don't think this goes for it. Yeah. How do we get this to work? So the strap goes through double loop. It goes through both of the double legs, and then you come back and you go through one. I thank you. That's so funny. I only have one measurement. Oh. You only have one? Okay. I mean, no, there it is. Okay. Once it was twisted up. So funny. She got it. Okay. That makes sense. What? Okay, we're having a little technical difficulties. We're gonna go through that. And then go back. Okay. Did you get it, Jane? I got it. It's just twisted. I know how to reach it. I think you're all relaxed. It's like, and do you need help, Ann? Well, I swear to God. Yeah. I wonder if anyone's like, I know what's up coming to squat. I've been holding the squat for 5 minutes. No way. No way. You're gonna wait. Sure. Yes. Okay, so here we are. The strap is like, above the knee, slightly above the knee, about, I guess, maybe not even mid-thigh. And then you drop down and you push out against, your knees are pointing forward, you push out against, and you drop down. And you're trying to engage your core, engaging your legs, and we're going to do a few with the strap. After all that work, we better do a few with the strap. Let it go. And then come up and look up. Exhale down. You're using a lot of muscle mass of the legs. When you take your arms alongside your ears, you're using your back strength. Yeah. And then come up. Arms facing forward, palms facing forward, look back. 2 more, exhale. And you find out, and really go low, it is a squat. Yeah, and then up. And like I was saying, and what I'm finding is my legs are working hard, but I feel like the strap just gives me a lot of stability. And then up. So surprisingly, those who can't bend so much and just because maybe hip joints or knees, you feel protected. So, all right, so anyways, you could stay with that. I was gonna try one or two without the strap, see what that feels like. But if you are like, no, I like that strap, I'm keeping it. I worked really hard to get that loop, I'm staying. So now I'm gonna face you. So here we go, breathe in, exhale. See, I like that strap. It made me feel really secure. Now I'm like, dang, I gotta do more work. Okay, and then up. And look up. Last one, drop down, engage your core. And up. So if you ever, I don't know if this happens to you, but if you ever come into your squat and then coming up is kind of like, you know, you're afraid, like sometimes it's a little twinge to the back. If you ever feel that, I have felt that. All I do is engage my core more and my back is happy. Like you need to have that support from your abdominals. You really need it. And some just have strong core, you don't have to think about it, it's automatic. Okay, a squat without anything. So maybe it's like, maybe you're like, oh, that's the best I can do. Maybe you can come down to your squat. And it's not a whole lot of work. It's a lot of stretch, but you know, it's not anything like what you were just doing. I don't think. Breathe in. Exhale. All right, come on up. So when we do sun salutations now, there's 2 rounds. And it's sweating like crazy over this. I'm so glad we have the fans going. I found them on, so that was good. Okay, so the first round, I want to emphasize a little more strength, and the second round, emphasize more stretch. So we'll see how is that possible. Because really, it's a series of forward bending, back bending. Let me see. Okay. Just have your strap, you know, you made that wonderful loop. Let's make use of it. Tighten the loop just a little bit. So that later, just so you see it later on, it'll be nearby, so you can do something like this, okay? Just have it nearby. The block in place, just above your knees. Hands are squeezing in the block already, and you're accessing pelvic floor muscles, what we call Mula Bandha, the root block. And when you have a root block, you automatically engage the center, like your abdominals from backstage, like it's like you go behind them in a sense. I don't know if that makes sense. And then you're going to reach up. Keep squeezing into the block. Look up, arch back. Come down half, like not even halfway. Your hands are going to be on your shin bones. You're extending your back. Or you might have to go deeper to reach for the strap. Come up and down, take your hands at the strap. Push against the strap. Look up. Keep squeezing into the block. You can bend your knees and lower, and then come to forward bend. Your knees to be soft, or straighten them and keep your arms away from your back. Let your neck relax. Release the strap. Keep the block in place. Can you believe that? You're going to wobble back, not walk, but wobble back to plank position. Squeezing into the block. In plank. Downward facing dog with the block in place. Squeeze into the block. Plank again. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands forward. I mean your feet forward. Yeah, you got to wobble forward. Take the darn block away. Keep your foot nearby. Right foot steps back. Yeah, sorry, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's not quite sun salutation. Right foot back, you have your block in hand, you just grab it, and you have warrior one and the block in place. It doesn't weigh anything, but you can imagine it does. It weighs a few ounces, probably at most. Reach up, extend. Bend more deeply. And then lower. And again, plank with no block in place. Your knees up or down as you come onto your belly, Chaturanga Dandasana. I know, it's kind of weird with all these things. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible, like with the strap thingy. So now I got the strap in my hand, I put it behind, I put it at the wrist again. It's behind my back and I'm lifting it. To lift, I have to use my back strength. Breathing in. Exhale. Tops of feet pushing down. Don't strain your neck. Now look to the right, let your arms swing left. Good. Nice. And then look the other way and your arms swing the other way. Good. And then back and good. Release the straps of your leg. I'm not using that, that's fine. Let your forehead rest down. Release your neck. Press up and back to child's pose. You could curl toes under if you like, forehead is down. Stretching your spine. Downward facing dog. Right leg comes forward. Some have to come on hands and knees for that transition, or you swing the leg up and then swing the leg. Where's the block? Where do you need it? Okay. And again, these are all optional. If you want, if you don't want, that's fine. Back heel is down. I have my stabilizing my leg. I have my block in place. I'm going to squeeze into the block. Like when it's in front of my chest, more easy to press. Front of my face, easy. Up overhead, easy. Up in the air, that's different work as I squeeze. Shoulder blades are down. You look up the block. And then lower. Come forward. Feet are about hip distance apart. You can lower your head as if you're taking top of the head to the block. And then look ahead of you. Hold it again. Leave all the props behind as you sweep the arms up. Palms touch. Lift. Arch back. And then hands to heart center. So yeah, that requires flexibility, you know, but also holding straight. So we'll do the second side. And no props this time. Reach up, unless you really, really like them. And do that. And softening the knees as you come down, straighten your legs. And then look ahead of you, elongate your spine. And hold in. Left leg back. Pause in your low lunge. On the right, we did right. Yeah. But maybe. And then heel down and come on up. It's okay. Yeah. So hands could be wide if you like, bring parallel each other, or even palms together. And then lower and press back, downward facing dog. Hands are spread wide. pressing forward into plank. And from here, the tendency is to be high, like it's really high. See how this works for you. Take your feet wide as the mat. Maybe your hands a little closer in. And see if you can take your right hand to your left shoulder. Woo. And that hand comes down, and left hand, right shoulder. And hand down. Feet are closer in together, and we lower onto the belly. Knees up or knees down. Knees down is easier. Lowering right onto the belly. And you can come again onto your elbows for Sphinx, or hands alongside chest, and press up into cobra. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And lower. I'm going to do it by mistake. You know, that spider, I don't know what it is about this, but it really gives you access to your back. So the elbows are up and the fingertips are down. If it really doesn't work to have the fingertips down, palms to be down. And you lift, and I think it's a real blend of strength and flexibility. Yeah. And the hands are probably going to be off the mat. And then lower. The only complaint I've heard in this is that if people have like arthritic hands, they're like, it really hurts my fingers. So then I say, have your fingers palms flat, but go wide. Yeah. Let's do that again twice more. Inhale. And lower. It's like the most flexible my back can be. I sometimes I can't believe it. Like and I look around like, wow, okay, that's one flexible spine. Lower your head, rest your back. Take a moment. The built-in breaks are really important. They're really important. You just let go. Let go of glutes, let go of your legs, just let go. Take a moment. Exhale. Let's press back to child's pose. All the way back. That transition too, I want you to, make that transition slow. So you're always really giving your body a chance to catch up with the movements. And then downward facing dog. And you can pedal, then one knee press up and heel down. Left leg will swing up and forward. If that's too much, you come on your knees for the transition. Left leg up and forward. Stretching your hip flexor for a moment. So it's your right hip flexor stretching. And then heel down and pressing up warrior one. Forward, and as you come forward, feet are about 6 distance apart, and then breathe in. Let's end this with chair. So feet are together. You had to do that, right? So come on down, and then reach arms. So easier, the arms are forward. Heels anchor down, lower, and then push heels into the mat, reach up, and hands to heart center. I was thinking about something in the chair. Rodney Lee. If you ever look up, just look up Rodney Lee. His signature pose is chair. I mean, like most have a zigzag like that. His is like, I mean, it's really low in the pose. And there's one person that I work with that even does chair better than that. It's really strong. His legs are super strong. It's way low. Yep. So we're going to come to sitting. And as you come to sitting, take your right ankle over the other and flex your right ankle. That could be it. You could shift side to side. That feels really good. Was it really hard to start playing again? Like, did you play squash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes some getting back into
Yeah.
it.
The squash players are back. And then from here, it's like I'm trying to take my buttocks closer into the heels. So I'm going over a little more, and then you might have to stop at a certain place, and you can't go any further. Yeah. So, and then once you shift forward, you've just intensified. But you know, for some, it's a lot on the wrist. Like, you have to push yourself. So sometimes threading the needle is the best, right? And then let's go ahead and do the other side. Left ankle over the other, face you. And we go side to side. This is like my happy place. I can almost see the smiles under the masks. It's all in the eyes. We've learned how to read the eyes, haven't we? At the start of the pandemic, I was really worried about my hearing. I was really worried. Because my mother lost her hearing, so I was like, oh, you know, I'm next. It's gonna happen. I couldn't understand anyone, and I was like, what? And I think people had to start enunciating more. You know, because I don't think it really, maybe it is my ears, but then I got used to it and it's fine. But I realized how much I was maybe like reading lips too. And then you're relying more on your ears and you're watching eyes, like you're, okay, so here we go, and let it to heal. Yeah, good. Jane, that's a very related. Good. So I'm going to suggest, oh, it's time. We're safe by the bell here. We're coming onto our backs. I was going to suggest the pigeon, but what we're going to do is once you come onto your back, pull right knee to chest. And of course, you can hold the foot again. We did it earlier, but maybe things are a little different. You've been up and about. Few twists, few arches. Let's go the other way. Pulling left knee to chest, stretching your lower back. Half lotus, grabbing hold of your foot. It feels very different for me. Much easier. There's less internal screaming. There's more smiles inside. Okay, yeah. And then release and allow yourself to be really comfortable for Shavasana. Those of you in studio, I've been bringing clean towels over your eyes, but if that seems too much for me to do with your mask, that's kind of claustrophobic for you. Just let me know. Okay? Completely relaxing your body. And remembering the dedication to walking on sacred earth. And also remembering sacred breath. So I think that this walking on sacred earth and thinking about, some of us are here in the studio, some are at home, many are at home in this class, and some of you are outdoors on your deck, your patio, the lawn near your house where you still have your Wi-Fi. And wherever we're at, you feel the sacred earth beneath you, and it might be that it's like not really there. You have to go down a ways, but it is there. It's the foundation. And just feel the connection. And breathe. We're going to take just, let's say, another breath here, where now you start to deepen the breath. It's the fastest 5 minutes of one's life, that's for sure, I think. Shavasana. And then as you are ready, start to move your hands and move your feet. And slowly roll to one side. Wally, I can't read your lips, but you could put your What are you saying? He's like, okay. So from here, we're going to be ending our session with an Om. You're welcome to unmute yourselves and